Namaste Yotirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Sarupaya Swamine Tapoharine. Dr. Partho Sarkar, Principal of JS College of Engineering, Kalyani, which is a pilot project for the JIS group. Members of the Governing Council, office bearers, teaching and non-teaching staff members, and very dear student friends. I am happy to be amongst you, though virtually, in this induction program for the freshers of the college. When we look at the higher education scenario in today's competitive world, what we find is an exclusive emphasis on intellectual development without a corresponding moral and spiritual elevation, which has created a society of unenlightened individuals that lurches from one crisis to another. This situation has drawn the attention of many thinking persons, and one of them, Professor Howard Gardner of Harvard University, who is famous for his multiple intelligence theory, has to say, I quote, "The challenge for the society of future is not simply to produce individuals who are intelligent, rather it is to yoke that intellectual capacities to a sense of ethical responsibility, in short, to humanize intelligence." Unquote. Thus, to appreciate the role that an institution plays in the enhancement of the educational brilliance of a student, we must remember Swami Vivekananda's elegant definition of education as, I quote, "the manifestation of the perfection already in man. And this quest for perfection is not possible without humility. A humble person believes that there is still scope to improve. He is willing to learn, listen to advice and suggestions, take criticism in the right spirit, and approach others when in problem. Others also venture to give advice and help a person who sincerely strives to improve himself. As Sri Ramakrishna said, I quote, just as rainwater collects in low ground, all virtues accumulate in a humble person. That is the reason we find truly great persons in any field are simple and humble. Needless to say, in bringing out the potential excellence, the ambience of the institute acts as a powerful catalyst. I am sure that the JIS College of Engineering, Kalyani, will certainly provide the atmosphere and ambience for the growth as well as the overall development of the students who have very recently been admitted to the college and are going through the induction program today. I have just mentioned about growth and development. Truly, education means growth and development. Now, what do we understand by growth and development? We may define these two words very briefly like this. A child is born. He becomes a youth and ultimately becomes old. This natural evolution is growth. But there are some who take special interest for their development, mental and physical. They improve upon what they were supposed to be in natural course of things. For instance, you have bone, muscles, etc. You do have muscles even without taking any conscious effort, like physical exercise, etc. But if you go to any gymnasium, you develop your biceps and muscles. You are more healthy than one who has not done this exercise. This is development. This difference between growth and development is the core theme of education. Accommodation, adjustment, integration, sympathy, and fulfillment are certain elements which constitute the inner core of education. Expansion of head and heart is education. Expansion is education. Contraction is ignorance. Fellow feeling, mutual trust, and pure love, etc., are the qualities we develop in the process of education. The next thing that comes to my mind is moral integrity, which has been the major casualty all over the world, including our country. And when we talk about moral integrity, we mean certainly three things. The first thing is purity, and this purity of thought, word, and deed was emphasized upon by our rishis, our ancestors, thousands of years ago. Secondly, patience. Again, the seers enlightened us and guided us by pointing out that this capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, etc., enables us to understand the subtlest of all truths. This patience is followed by perseverance. This means persistence in doing something despite difficulty and hurdles. Swami Vivekananda said, I quote, "Look, every vicious thought you have will rebound on you 1,000 times more powerfully than you can imagine. If you have a thought of hatred, even inside a cave, its vibration will be stored up there, and know for certain that those vibrations will invariably come back to you with a tremendous force." Unquote. That's why it's absolutely necessary to do good to oneself for one's own development and also to do good to others. This is the way to win freedom from hatred. This quality is consciously cultivated. It is followed by love for all. Love for all without freedom from hatred is inconceivable. It is not complete. Again, you can't have total freedom from hatred unless you have love for all. So, we need people today with impeccable integrity. There are many clever people in this country who are successful and rich. What we generally lack is integrity of character. Without integrity, all success comes to a naught. A life of integrity and service will be a blessing to oneself and the society as well. Next, one of the fundamental problems plaguing modern society is a lack of meaning in life. Most of the youths and even adults suffer from what is called an existential vacuum. In other words, purposelessness in life. They don't know what to do. They are not clear about the purpose of life and what is their duty, whither to go, how to go. Even successful people who have ticked all the boxes, good education, great career, settled family life, social status, etc., also fall prey to this existential vacuum. They have enough to live by, but nothing to live for. They have the means, but no meaning. Boredom, depression, aggression, addiction, and other problems that we see in the society are just the manifestation of this lack of meaning in life. Swami Vivekananda realized this and called upon the youth to dedicate their lives for a higher cause in the quest for self-realization and in the service of the nation. Be and make. Let this be your motto, he said. The two ideas must assimilate and supplement each other. It's a perfect antidote to this existential vacuum or purposelessness. Miss Josephine MacLeod, one of the illustrious Western disciples of Swami Vivekananda, asked him, how she could serve him best. Swamiji replied to her and to all his future disciples, thus, love India. I want to mention another thing that Swami Vivekananda so categorically stated, I quote, so long as the millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. So naturally, the spirit of service has to come in our life. Unless that spirit is there, a human being is not a human being proper. In the Mahabharata, it has been remarked that those who have no conscience or viveka are simply animals. So, when we speak of a viveka-hina or conscienceless person, we certainly refer to a person who is devoid of the spirit of service, sympathy and compassion to others. These virtues have to be cultivated side by side with Atmabala or inner strength or self-confidence to which Swamiji refers to time and again. When that is attained, Swami Vivekananda says you will see how this sleeping soul awakens. Then, in the words of Swamiji, to quote Swamiji Maharaj, power will come, glory will come, goodness will come, purity will come, and everything that is excellent will come when this sleeping soul is roused to self-conscious activity. This JIS College of Engineering, through its joyous journey, strives to stand as a testimony to Swami Vivekananda's vision of education. To quote his words, I quote, education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs riot there, undigested, all your life. We must have life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. I am sure that the JIS College of Engineering envisages that every faculty member of this institution will work hard to offer a man-making and character-building education as preached by Swamiji Maharaj to all sections of its learners. Such an education will only enable the students to lead a disciplined life, to face the inevitable hardships and withstand the shocks of life courageously, to develop concern and love for fellow human beings, and to contribute to the collective growth of the society across all fields. I hope these positive traits will be the unflinching aim of all its students. Here may I quote Tagore, জীবনে জীবন যোগ করা না হলে কৃত্রিম পণ্যে ব্যর্থ হবে গানের পসরা. I wish this premier institute a very, very bright future. Before I wrap up, I would like to thank the director, learned members of the faculty, administrative personnel, and dear students for remembering me on this occasion and giving me this wonderful opportunity to share a few thoughts with the freshers, though virtually. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharada Devi, and our leader Swami Vivekananda to bless you all and enable this college to reach greater milestones in years ahead. Let us pray to Swami Vivekananda, our leader, in the following words. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrittor ma yamritangamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O Lord, lead us from unreal to real, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you so very much.